Hey, welcome back to the channel. Well, I had a very interesting weekend, and I bumped into a story which it was on Facebook everywhere, and when I bumped into it, I couldn't stop reading it until something else got my attention. But this one, I think I was so angry about this story that everybody started thinking, well, I had to stop commenting because I felt like, okay, I'm coming out like someone who's extremely bitter and that I have a vendetta against somebody I don't even know. Today, I'm going to talk about something that really bugged me. So, there's this story about a Kenyan woman who was arrested in Vietnam for drug trafficking. As at the recording of this video, because I can't trust myself not to have emotions over this, I stopped following the story. However, reports said that she was awaiting execution, so maybe she has been executed or something like that has not happened. Now, why is this bothering me so much? I don't know, but anyway. So I'm one of these people who like watching, this border control series. I don't even think they have them anymore because all the ones that I found on YouTube are quite old. But they're usually these videos about border control where the customs people stop people and ask them questions, and people uh, caught with things that they're not supposed to have, and many times you see all this drug traffickers being caught, and people who've lied on their visas, people who are using the wrong visas, visitors who are, so it comes with a lot of stories. So when I watch these videos, there's usually the sense of, oh, phew, at least they have done this and they've checked this, and I kind of like seeing that because it shows you that some countries really do take what is coming into their countries seriously. Everybody knows, well, not everybody apparently, but quite a lot of people know that Asian countries tend to have quite very severe punishments for drug trafficking. I know a few years ago there were some Americans and British ladies who were caught at airports in Thailand, and they were executed. And I remember it was a lot of news and stuff like that about human rights and all this, and just the fact that some of them had very what people would consider small amounts of drugs, but yet they still were executed. So this is something that many people know. You go to a country, you're always told learn about the laws of that country, learn about. Everybody knows you can't go to the UAE and start stealing. Everybody knows you can't go to Saudi Arabia and start stealing. But somehow people decide that some other things are just not, not that they can do whatever they want with other people's countries. So. Um, One thing that bothered me about this story is just how many things don't add up. So the version that I read was that, which was something that her cousin put up, was that she was supposed to be going to Qatar for to work. And she is from a very not rich family. So she left Kenya and went to Ethiopia, to Addis. And then, when in Addis, instead of connecting flight to Qatar, she changed the flight and moved to, and then decided, no, was told by somebody else that she met in Addis that now flight detail things have been changed and she needs to move um, to go to Vietnam instead. So what doesn't add up is, maybe airports are different. I've never been to the Addis airport, but when you arrive at an airport, normally, yes, you can meet somebody there. I've had situations where I'm traveling somewhere and I plan with a friend. And if she's coming from a different place, we book the same airline, and then we have transit together, and then we continue. We do our own one journey together. So that is possible. However, when you take a flight from Nairobi and you're supposed to be going to Qatar, well, first, the most logical flight to take would be Qatar Airlines. But okay, maybe the Ethiopian airline one was cheaper. So yes, I've also taken detours when it's a cheaper flight. So you come from Qatar, from Nairobi. When they're checking you in, the next place you're going to see your suitcase is when you arrive in Qatar. So everything is going to be, you're checked in there, but it's automatic until the other end where you arrive. So when you reach Addis, how does somebody come in and then tell you, okay, here's your ticket, here's a new ticket. So from Addis, now you're going to Vietnam. Just doesn't make that much sense, because then how do you check in from the transit area? Maybe things are different. Maybe in the Ethiopian airport, maybe in the Addis airport, it's different. But most airports that I have been to, the check-in happens before that transit place. So I don't know how you would check in, because you need the boarding pass for you to even get to that transit place. So that is where, to me, it just doesn't, the first bit of it, that doesn't make sense. Second bit is the fact that Kenyans need a visa to go to Vietnam. We need a visa to go to Qatar. So what visa did she have? Did she have a visa to Vietnam? And if she had a visa to Vietnam, why? Why did she have a visa to Vietnam to begin with, if she had never known about Vietnam and she did not know about Vietnam? There's another bit of the story that says that there was a down payment that she was given. Normally, when people are going to Qatar for work, they usually pay agents a sum of money. Her, it seemed like she was paid a sum of money before she left Kenya. So why was she paid this sum of money? What was it for? Okay, all this, none of our business, but it's out there, and you people are telling us to pray for her. So here we are. We are asking what exactly are we telling God? We need details of what to tell God, right? So who sent her? Who are these people? Because they keep saying, oh, people, drug traffickers, people traffickers, human trafficking, and okay, so who are these people? The agent who sent her to Qatar. Now, normally, most people that I know who go to Qatar, they did not have money to go to Qatar. So it was a family effort, or at least you have one friend who knows where this agent is. So how come nobody is asking this Qatari agent what happened? Because this agent should know. How did somebody in Addis know that she was on that flight? Because the agents usually do the door to door. And who promised her these big opportunities, Was it something that was decided on the way? Was it, first of all, was it even her first time? That's one question, you know? And it would be really sad if it was her first time. The thing is, these traffickers, well, the real people who are really making the real money, this girl had 2 kilos of cocaine. Trust me, the person who's making the money from those kilos of cocaine, it's not her. What she's making is such a little piece of it. But they are never the ones who get caught, because people do not say. Most of the time when people get caught, I don't know if they have been made to sign NDAs. I don't know if their families are being threatened. I don't know. Because I feel like maybe that's the reason why I never found myself in these situations. I talk too much. If I got caught and I'm being told that you're being killed, I am naming names. Is it a case of you never even know, you receive things on email and you don't know who it is, but who gave you the money? How did you meet these people? I would name names so much, they would give me immunity. There is no way I would die and then you're just there enjoying yourself. Unless you have something on me. But even what would you have on me? I'm losing my life. I would talk. People are desperate and people are poor, and it's always people from poor families and poor backgrounds. And I know many people think, oh, she's just looking for shortcuts. Yes, that two things can be true at the same time. She can just be looking for shortcuts, but she can also be desperate. And there was someone who said people have been desperate. People have had children and they don't even know what meal they're going to feed their kid, but they did not go trafficking drugs. But people also have different tolerance levels. And I maybe what I can tolerate and what you can tolerate are different. And we are just over here worrying about, different things that we can, different levels of tolerance. And maybe hers was just, I cannot do this anymore. I have brothers and sisters waiting for me and things like that. I mean, we've seen women who decide that they are going to sell their bodies, um, because they need to feed their kids. But does that, that's when you look at it, is it different from, is this person more or less ambitious than the mother who decides, okay, I'm just going to clean people's clothes from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. every day until so for me to feed my kids. It's just different motivations and different tolerance levels of humiliation and survival. Now, the problem is the person who gave her those drugs is probably out there, and I can even imagine maybe she was not even the only one on that flight that this person had recruited. Maybe there were two or three other people that maybe got in, maybe were arrested. Nobody knows, but people are out here moving on and continuing. Life is tough, and sometimes opportunities that sound too good to be true do come our way. But someone offers you to fly out and pays for your stay and pays, for you to just take something small. Why do you not open this box to see what is in it? And if it sounds too easy or they are not answering your questions, just ask yourself why. And, some of these things are not really worth it. Because some of these opportunities are just traps to end your life. And in countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, they do not play with drug trafficking. They just kill you. They just really, really do kill you. They don't play with drug trafficking. And this is regardless of your nationality, because some people brought race into it, and I was like, oh my dear, if you know how many blonde blue-eyed girls have found themselves in these situations in Thailand and Vietnam, you will be shocked. It's just one of those things that they are very strict about. So there are many unanswered questions in this story, and but the one thing that is for sure is she's not the first, she won't be the last. And this needs to be a wake up call for a lot of us. Now, it might seem weird that this thing got me worked up, but part of the reason why this thing got me worked up was because, so with a Kenyan passport, normally there's a way we are looked at. We are looked at semi decently across Africa, across everywhere. We just looked at as hardworking people who just, try to survive. There are a few countries, however, that if you hold that passport, every time you're somewhere, you have to really, really, like convince people of your worth. Now, when we start normalizing the fact that we think it's okay for people to do this because, well, she's just trying to survive, we'll find ourselves on that side. We'll find ourselves on the side where our passport is being scrutinized 150 times. Visas are already hard enough to get. Now it will reach a place where now it's even harder to get, because every time you're at an airport, they spend hours going through your things, because that is what we're known for. So some of these things do end up having that kind of effect. The second reason is because I have seen lots of people whose family have been destroyed by drugs. I have very little sympathy for for drug dealers, because you're trafficking these drugs, it's going to end up on somebody's son or daughter's hands, and they will find themselves in a situation where they need to continue getting the drugs, and it just leads, one thing leads to another, and anyway, hope this video was good enough. And whichever side you are on this debate, for me, it was just one of those things that I could not get myself to sympathize, because I just kept thinking about all the people I know whose lives have been destroyed because of access to drugs.